Agricultural biotechnology is seen as an essential part of meeting the world's rising food needs and conservation of biodiversity. It has been shown to boost food production, and this improvement in yields in turn results in higher gross domestic product, better income for farmers, employment creation, as well as poverty and malnutrition reduction in developing countries like Nigeria. I am Lara Afolayan, and I bid you welcome to Agribiotech, the program that projects the significance of biotechnology to agricultural development in Nigeria. Nigeria's National Biotechnology Development Agency (NABDA) was established with the core mandate of promoting biotechnology activities in the country. This is in line with Nigeria's objectives of achieving food security, job and wealth creation, affordable healthcare delivery, and a sustainable environment. On today's edition of the program, I shall be taking a look at how well this agency has achieved these targets, particularly in the area of agriculture. The agency's Acting Director General, Professor Alex Akpa, will be speaking to me on the program on this subject matter and more. On In Focus, the attention shall be on efforts at promoting the use of biotechnology in Nigeria. Let's start by seeing some trending agricultural biotechnology developments in the past week. A group consisting of 100 research scientists and agricultural economists from sub-Saharan Africa wants studies conducted on creating flood-resistant sweet potato varieties. They believe this could help attract youths into agriculture. The group of scientists and agriculture experts met in Kenya to review progress on sweet potato breeding. Kenya's Director of Crop Systems feels sweet potato has been underutilized as a food crop in sub-Saharan Africa, but now gaining prominence. He wants scientists to conduct more research to help use the crop in boosting food security amid climate change-related impacts such as floods and prolonged droughts. 5 new varieties of sweet potato have been released in Kenya and Uganda in the last 2 years. The country has already made progress in breeding new potato varieties such as the orange sweet potato that is highly nutritious and could help fight vitamin A deficiency in children. The International Service for the Acquisition of Agribiotech Applications (ISAAA) and PG Economics Limited have released a report for new studies highlighting the continued social, environmental and economic benefits of the global adoption of biotechnology in agriculture. The complementary studies examine the continued widespread adoption of global crop biotechnology and the significant positive socio-economic and environmental impacts of this adoption by farmers and communities around the globe. The report shows biotech crops offer enormous benefits to the environment, health of humans and animals, as well as contributions to the improvement of socio-economic conditions of farmers and the public. The ISAAA report shows the global biotech crop area increased in 2017 by 3% or 4.7 million hectares. It attributes this primarily to greater profitability stemming from higher commodity prices, increased market demand both domestically and internationally, as well as the presence of available seed technologies. Researchers from the University of California are working on discovering genes that promote drought resistance in sorghum. This could potentially be applied to other important cereal crops like corn, wheat, rice and barley in coming years. The researchers feel crops with better drought tolerance are needed in the future, and they foresee sorghum as a model to do gene discovery for drought genes. The research is part of a 5-year study funded by the U.S. Department of Energy that has multiple researchers from various universities and national labs trying to understand how sorghum, which is such a remarkable bioenergy crop and human staple in many parts of the world, achieves its extraordinary drought tolerance. Sorghum is the 5th most important cereal crop grown worldwide and provides food for about 500 million people annually. In the US, Sorghum is primarily grown for animal feed, ethanol production, exports, and now for the gluten-free food market. There are many different types of sorghum, including varieties used for grain, sweeteners, livestock forage, Sudan grasses for hay crops, and biomass feedstocks for renewable fuel production. The research is looking at what happens to sorghum after it is planted until it flowers, comparing normal growing conditions to drought. It is as well assessing what happens when it does not get water after flowering. The Nigerian government set up the National Biotechnology Development Agency (NABDA) in 2001. This is part of efforts to promote new technologies in areas of plant breeding and disease control to allow for agricultural enhancement in the country. Since NABDA's establishment, the agency has engaged in several efforts at promoting biotechnology for agriculture in the country. Nigeria's Federal Executive Council approved a national biotechnology policy in 2001. This led to the creation of the National Biotechnology Development Agency (NABDA) that same year. The agency, which exists under the Federal Ministry of Science and Technology, is charged with the responsibility of promoting and coordinating research as well as development activities for biotechnology in Nigeria. NABDA's programs are structured in tandem with international best practices for indigenous development of biotechnology. The agency has been promoting agricultural biotechnology with the assistance of Nigerian scientists who have identified production challenges facing some of the country's food crops and are developing genetically modified varieties to help address them.
When we went to the southwestern part of the country, we spoke and got experts to talk about improvement on cocoa and also palm tree. When we went to the southeast, we went also more into cassava because of Umudike. And by the time we went to Katsina, we were talking about cotton, particularly the BT cotton. And there were others we really organized specifically on the BT cowpea, also on the sorghum. And that's how we got the ABS project to come to Nigeria.
Through these efforts, 5 genetically modified crops are presently undergoing confined field trials in parts of Nigeria. They include the pod borer-resistant cowpea, modified to resist the maruga, the BT cotton with resistance to the pink bollworm, Africa biofortified sorghum with improved vitamin A, iron and zinc to address malnutrition, the nitrogen use efficient, water use efficient and salt tolerant newest rice, as well as the virus resistant and nutritionally enhanced cassava for Africa.
Cowpea production, if the GM material is grown by our farmers, their cost of production will be reduced substantially and up to a savings of close to 16 billion naira would have been made annually in the country by our farmers from buying insecticides to spray. And additionally, in terms of grain yield, the country is going to benefit close to 43 billion naira annually, if only 1/3 of our fields are grown to the GM cowpea.
If farmers have access to these seeds, they don't have to apply fertilizer. Fertilizer in Nigeria is an essential commodity. It's not every farmer that can afford it. It gets expensive, more expensive every day. And so, but this rice, once the farmer has it, he does not need fertilizer.
The other trait is the trait of drought that makes it to be able to resist drought. In a drought environment, like, you can also notice that rainfall is becoming more and more sporadic, and many times farmers will plant and then the rain goes and their crops die. With this technology, the farmers will be able to harvest good yields even with little water.
The event that we are working with now, which is not even the last, the vitamin A content is greater than what was achieved in golden rice. So I think we are making progress.
NAFDA continues to promote the growth of biotechnology for agriculture in Nigeria through the Open Forum on Agricultural Biotechnology (OFAB). This is done through the sensitization of the public on the potentials and benefits of genetically modified crops to allow for better food productivity, economic growth, improved nutrition, as well as the creation of jobs and wealth.
The journey in promoting biotechnology in Nigeria would not have reached the stage where we are now without OFAB.
OFAB, Open Forum for Agricultural Biotechnology in Africa, the Nigerian chapter, is one of the best things that has happened to the agricultural sector in Nigeria in recent years. I say this because for us in the Agricultural Research Council, our duty is to make technologies available to farmers to improve their livelihoods through increased productivity. And OFAB talks about biotechnology, which is one of the greatest tools to increase agricultural productivity. So definitely the coming of OFAB to make awareness on acceptability of agricultural biotechnology in Nigeria, showcasing the potentials it holds to increase our farmers' productivity and livelihood. It's a great thing that has happened to us. It is helping us to accept a technology that we are proposing to give to the Nigerian populace.
NAFDA promotes industrial biotechnology through the application of biotechnology in processing local food, including locust beans, cassava flakes, popularly called gari, yogurt, milk, and fruits. Its soybeans processing incubation facility is for pilot processing of soybeans into milk and yogurt using technologies like the SoCal machine and the VitaGold. It is also involved in sustainable production of local fruit juice concentrates through backward integration of tropical fruits farming. This is alongside bioorganic fertilizer development in collaboration with the Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University in Bauchi.
With this, of course, we can transit, Nigeria can transit from this subsistence farming that farmers have been enslaved into to business farming. Biotechnology will contribute to agriculture becoming the mainstay of the economy, especially at this time that we are talking about economic diversification. There's no way we can diversify the economy without making agriculture a business.
The National Biotechnology Development Agency (NAFDA) wants the process of commercializing genetically modified crops in Nigeria to be fast-tracked. It wants the country to improve funding on research for this cutting-edge technology that will not only be of immense benefits to farmers, but promote food security in the country as well. Next, I get to speak with the National Biotechnology Development Agency's Acting Director General, Professor Alex Akpa, on the institution's efforts at promoting biotechnology for agriculture in Nigeria, as well as benefits Nigeria's agricultural sector could get from the use of the technology. It's good to have you join me on the program.
Thank you.
Talking about genetic modification, why does Nigeria need this technology for agriculture?
No, Nigeria, it's obvious Nigeria needs it. Our population is about 180 million now, and the projection is rapidly moving towards 200 million people. And there's obviously, we can there's no way we can feed that huge population using only the hoe and knife and tractor type of agriculture. We need to bring in technology to increase our yield per hectare, for instance. For us to be able to feed close to 200 million people, our technology, our approach simply has to change. And it's only biotechnology that will enable us to achieve that.
There are quite a number of technologies that have helped in improving farmers' yields. I know we have hybrid seeds, for example.
Yes.
So what makes this particular technology superior to other forms of technology that have been used to develop agriculture in the past?
This technology one is cutting edge, is sharp, is focused. You know exactly what you want, and you achieve exactly, definitely what you want. In breeding, there's some amount of trial and error. But in genetic modification, you know, the basic technology is recombinant DNA technology. You know the specific gene you are interested in, and you pick that gene and use it to improve the quality of your seed. Either you want it, of your crop, either you want it to be resistant to drought, or you want it to be able to increase yield, or you want it to be resistant to pests, or whatever. It's more definitive, it's more specific, it's more effective. And that is why it's a totally new technology that has revolutionized the way agriculture is done.
What exactly does gene editing or genetic modification do to crops that is different from what we've always seen?
It doesn't do anything that is different, except that it makes it, it accelerates. This is a process that normally takes place even in nature. Do you understand? It could take up to generations for these changes to be attained. But with the technology, you can achieve that within a matter of a few months or years. So the advantage is that it's faster, it's rapid, and as I said, it's focused and is definite. So it saves a lot of time and money at the same time.
Why do Nigerian farmers need this technology?
Nigerian farmers need it badly because right now people work so hard and the yield is too low. The yield is too low compared to the amount of labor put in. But you notice that when technology is adopted, the yield becomes massive. You can imagine when a farmer moves from, say, 5 tons per hectare of a crop, say cassava, and you step up to, say, 15 or 20 tons per hectare. You can see the difference. So on the same piece of land, you make so much cassava that you can produce maybe instead of 2 bags of gari, you can produce maybe 10 or 15 bags of gari. You can imagine it makes farmers happier, obviously, because their take-home pay, of course, is much.
In your opinion, what does Nigeria as a country stand to benefit from this technology and its agriculture sector as well?
When we talk about agriculture place, let's not just restrict it to food only. We also have industrial agriculture. Most of our cotton industries in the north have all closed down or are about to close down due to lack of inadequate supply of cotton. But with BT cotton alone, all that can be reversed, and most of those industries can spring back to life, and of course, provide hundreds of thousands of jobs for our people. This
technology is NAFDA's brainchild in Nigeria. So what has the agency been doing to promote it?
The agency has done well. We have done quite a lot to try to promote it, because, you know, before you bring in a technology that is totally new, the first thing is to make sure that there is the basic infrastructure to be able to monitor and ensure that there is no abuse. And that's why the agency was, to a large extent, instrumental to the biosafety, the formation of the biosafety agency. You know, that agency is very important because they now act as the watchdog to make sure that things are done properly, and that the crops or products are safe, both for human consumption and then for the environment. The genetically based crops are gradually finding their ways into the market, and we hope that in the next few years that will happen even more aggressively, and get into areas like the massive local production of BT cotton to help our textile mills come back to life.
How effective have NAFDA's efforts at promoting this technology been so far?
I think it has been reasonably effective. And OFAB has done a reasonably good job in trying to
make people understand this technology and that it is safe. It's not there's nothing, no harm has been found with regards to it, irrespective of what our detractors of the technology go about saying, that it can cause cancer, it can make people grow horns and so on. All these are ridiculous things because it simply shows how naive and how that they do not simply understand anything about the technology, because recombinant DNA technology, the same technology is used in the production of vaccines. And if you can inject vaccines into the bloodstream of a 1-month-old baby, and none of them have turned out to grow horns or have cancer, I don't know why somebody should feel that the same technology, recombinant DNA technology, that when you use it to develop a crop and that people consume, is digested in the digestive system. The body extracts only what you need, and the rest passes out as waste. Why somebody should feel that that is the one that will cause all sorts of problems in the body, when the vaccines produced using the same technology does not lead to anything. So that will show you the hypocrisy and about all this, the people who are against this technology. They are not people. They are people who do not obviously wish us well. That's the simplest way I can put it.
So what are the challenges that confront your promotion of this technology here in Nigeria?
I would say mainly in the area of, if there's any challenge we have, is a challenge that has to do with, say, funding. You know, funding is a major problem because, you know, it's high tech. To be able to modify one single crop costs a lot of money. In fact, but luckily, due to collaboration with international groups and scientists and labs, we've been able to leverage on those and move faster. But locally, our main challenge has been that of funds. Capacity, we're also building gradually over time. And I think that keeps improving every day because constantly we are sending our scientists out of the country and within and out of the country to learn and acquire more of these techniques so they can come back and utilize and apply them.
So what do you think can be done, you know, to assist you better promote this technology?
One of the things that can be done, of course, is to assist us in the area of increased funding for our labs mainly, and capacity building, training our staff to get really specialized, maybe to at least PhD level in this very specialized area. So capacity building and fund for our laboratories, consumables and so on will go a long way in helping us achieve that.
From the feedback I received from this program, it appears quite a number of farmers look forward to using these seeds, to planting them actually.
Yes.
When are we likely to see them commercialized in Nigeria?
I think within the shortest possible time. Some of them, a good number of them have passed through the biosafety, all the biosafety, you know, rules and regulations, and are ready, almost ready for commercialization. So in the next few months, next few weeks or even months, I think we should start finding a good number of them ready for full commercialization, so people can access them and employ them, deploy them, plant them, and harvest them.
What will be your message to those out there who feel that the promotion of this technology is not being done in national interest?
Those are I think those are enemies of progress. Those are the detractors, and most of them are not well informed. It's unfortunate. They are not well informed. Most of them are not scientists to start with. Most of those I know who are in that group are all historians and people like that, people who read English and literature. So they are not scientists and they do not understand what this technology is all about. And that is why it's very easy to get them to do the type of thing they do, trying to discourage our farmers from using a technology that will enhance their lives and improve their lives and improve the lives of the country and improve our economy and help stabilize the base.
What other technologies is NAFDA promoting in the agricultural sector apart from genetic modification?
There are many. You know, technologies keep new ones keep coming up every day, and we keep embracing them. Biophotonics is a totally new technology, even newer than genetic modification, and that's how we keep adopting. As technologies come up, we quickly try to latch onto them, get our scientists to master them, invite experts to come, train our staff and explain to them what the technology is all about, and we embrace and we use the technology.
And what will be your final words to Nigerians on the use of genetic modification for food production in the country? My final word is that the technology is safe. It's safe, completely safe. In fact, I think recently over 100 Nobel laureates in the biological sciences, and in fact in the sciences, chemistry, physics, biology, all came to medicine, came together and made a public statement that they haven't looked at all the published works and all the literature and everything, that they don't see anything wrong, that nothing wrong, nothing is wrong about genetically modified foods or in any way. Nothing at all. It's quite safe. It's extremely safe. It's completely safe. Thank you very much for joining me on the program.
Thank you.
And it's at this point we call it a day on the show. Keep the emails coming. The email address as shown on your screen is agribiotech1@yahoo.com. Send us tweets at agribiotech13 or comment on our Facebook page, Agribiotech on TVC. I am Lara Afolayan. See you next time.